gentlemen, sorry for the delay. We'll go ahead and get started. If we can open it up with opening statement from Coach Bobo and Coach Grant.
We're definitely excited about being here at the Capital One Bowl. Played a great opponent like Nebraska. Two teams with great tradition. Our players have had a great week of practice, been preparing well, and having a lot of fun. I know Aaron on the ride over here is mentioning he's ready to go over here and get this thing done because he wants to go see Mickey Mouse. So he's excited about it. Had a good practice this morning, and just ready for the game to get here on Tuesday. But just having a great week and enjoying the hospitality and the city of Orlando.
Yeah, to kind of go off what Mike said there, I can tell you that it's a pleasure to be here at Capital One Bowl. I can tell you my family's had a great time, as the other families. You know, having small kids in a place like Orlando can be an awesome thing, and they've had a lot of fun. Our players certainly have. One thing I'll say about our players is I think they've done a good job of working when they've had to go and work, and they've prepared the way they need to prepare. And we're obviously facing a talented team that's got some skilled players on offense that can run it and throw it, and we understand we need to play well. You know, times it's coming down to a time to be ready to kind of hone in and get ready to play a tough physical game. We certainly expect that from the opponent that we're going to play. So, you know, really just kind of hone in on our skills a little bit the next couple of days and have an exciting game on January 1st.
All right, this time we'll open it up to questions for any of our 4 participants. We are going to be working on a full transcript today, so if you could please find someone with a microphone if you have questions.
Maybe two. Oh, shucks. At 2.
This is for both players. Anytime there's a bowl game following something real high level like the SEC championship game, there's people always talk about the potential of a letdown and whether your heads are really in the game or not. So could both players sort of address the importance of this game to you in terms of playing well and winning?
I'll answer first. I think the biggest thing which I've talked about all season is just the leadership on this team. I think we have a great group of senior leaders and some juniors who have done a great job all season of making sure our guys stay focused, making sure our guys know what goals and aspirations this team has, and we know we have a good chance to hopefully crack the top 5, which would be pretty great. I think that everyone would consider that a great season, and win a bowl game, finish on top, something we haven't done in a couple of years. I know it would be a great way to send these seniors off. Like I said, they've done so much for this university and for this team. That I know all the underclassmen really want to send them off the right way. And like I said, I know me personally, I've yet to win been part of a winning bowl game, so I really want to win, and I'm going to do what I can to make sure this offense and this team is ready to go.
I'd like to ask Mike and Aaron, everybody talks about the Nebraska offense, the running game and everything, but not as much seems mentioned about the defense. I know they've had some tough games, but they've also played well. What do you see in them? I'd like to comment from each one of you, and also any schemes they run that are similar to some of the teams you face this year.
Well, first of all, the only thing that jumps off the page to me when you look at them is they have 8 senior starters and 3 juniors, so there's a lot of experience on that team. Overall, they're ranked really high statistically. Total defense, pass defense, they're the tops in the country. I see a defense that plays well together. It does a great job matching routes and playing their match coverage that they do, that he's been doing everywhere he's been. They're well coached guys. They play hard. They're physical, and it's going to be a challenge. Veteran football team. They're coming off disappointing loss like we are. Both of us are in the championship game, and it's kind of what Aaron mentioned. It's going to be about leadership and guys getting focused and ready to play. It's another chance to compete, and I expect our guys to be ready to compete on Tuesday, and I expect Nebraska to be ready too.
Same stuff. I mean, they're very physical in defense, very disciplined. You don't see a lot of teams getting big plays at all. And so I think the biggest thing for us is when those big plays present themselves to us throughout the game, we just got to make sure we capitalize them and take full advantage. Because like I said, they're extremely disciplined and do a great job, following whatever the coordinator calls.
Hey, Garrison, this question is for you. Do you feel like it's going to be more important to try and get pressure off the edge on Taylor Martinez, or do you feel like you guys should play more of a contained game against him?
I feel like it's going to be a combination of different things. He's a great athlete and a great quarterback. He's a heck of a player. We've been watching film on him, and it's just going to be hard to retain him. Just everybody just going to have to get our all and give 100% and just do our best to get after him. But it's hard when you're playing with such a great player like him.
This question's for Mike. You've kind of been a Georgia guy since you played there. I mean, you spent a little time in another program, but you've kind of grown up as a coach in the Georgia program. Can you talk a little bit about your maturation process and where you're at now as an offensive coordinator, working under an offensive guy like Coach Richt, and just where you see yourself maybe in a couple of years?
Just been very blessed to be at a place like Georgia as a player. Having grown up in the state of Georgia, and then having an opportunity to go there and play, and further my career coaching at the university you play for has just been a blessing. But the number one blessing I think for me and my whole family has been able to work for a guy like Mark Richt. When you want to surround yourself around good people, and I was just very fortunate to get started in my career and really be around a guy like him. And just he's been a guy that's been there for me, and just had different levels of my role growing the last 10 years, but he's let me be myself, and then where I'm at today, opposed to 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, the bottom line is I'm just trying to get better every day and make this team better and get the position I coach ready to go on each and every Saturday, and the players ready to go. And that's the only thing I control. And right now, the only thing I'm worried about is playing Nebraska on Tuesday.
What about in your future when you project it out?
I try, I worry about what I control, and that's getting ready to play this ball game. I don't get caught up in looking what happened, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, last week. What we can do today is get ready for Nebraska, and that's kind of how I go about my business.
This question's for Aaron. Can you tell me how you feel your team is prepared for Nebraska this past week in Orlando?
I think it's been great. I think our guys are very excited about the opportunity. I know our guys are excited to play in the Capital One Bowl. But I think it's been a great week of practice. Guys really, right now, know what they're doing. We know our game plan extremely well. We know what they do defensively and everything like that. So, like I said, and like what Coach Bobo said earlier, I think I feel great about our game plan. I know the rest of the offense does. And we still have a couple more days to continue watching film, continue walking through plays and making sure we're ready to go. But at this point, I think if we had to play tomorrow, I think our guys would be ready to go.
This is for Coach Grantham. Have you guys decided, the coaching staff, who's going to start in John Jenkins' place?
Not yet. I mean, we still got a couple days with that. Obviously, with John being out, guys like Ray Drew, Cornelius Washington, and Mike Thornton are going to be guys that are going to be in a rotation up there. So it's really irrelevant who starts. It's a matter of when you play up front, it's important to keep your gas tank full and keep those guys fresh, because you got to win the game in the fourth quarter. So we're going to mix and match those guys, throughout the game to try to make those guys as fresh as we can, moving into the fourth quarter.
This question's for Aaron, and it's kind of a two-part deal. Nebraska likes to try to deny short passes. They force teams to want to throw deep a lot of times. How do you feel like your deep throwing game has been so far this year? And when you look at a pass defense like Nebraska's, what kinds of things are really important to try to do as a quarterback to maybe try to get them out of position or to try to take advantage of their aggressiveness?
I think what's the biggest thing with us as an offense is we try to create some great tempo, try to get going fast, try to get lined up, get the play called, not really let them have time to get set up and maybe their defense or get their blitz set up, and really try to, like I said, move the ball fast and go from there. But they really don't. They like to press up outside, make you try to beat them deep, and I think we've been pretty successful all season long with some big plays down the field. We have some great receivers, some guys that can really stretch it with Tavares, Malcolm, Wu, tons of guys that could really stretch the field deep and really cause some problems for them. But I think the biggest things we need to do is really be a balanced offense. We got to be able to run the ball. We got to use that to then set up the play action and then get on top of them later.
This question's, excuse me, for Mike. I want to ask you about Keith Marshall, how he's looked in bowl practices, and you expect he's going to be more involved. I know against Alabama, Ty was running well and got a lot of the action.
Keith's had a great week of practice, really more than a week, great month of practice. Keith's a guy that goes out every day and tries to get better, and I think that's why he's played well as a freshman. He did not, get as many touches in the Alabama game. I think that's just how the game went and the way the other guy was running the ball. But we got a big plan for Keith in this game, and expect him to make plays and play well in this game. He's running good. I think the little bit of time off has helped him. He's had some knee soreness the whole season, and I think the rest has helped him, and he'll be fresh and ready to go on Tuesday.
This question's for Todd. You see Jarvis Jones, a guy like Jarvis Jones every day in practice. What makes him so special?
I think the biggest thing is his relentless play. He's a guy that really enjoys playing the game. He's physical, setting the edge on tight ends, and anytime you play a 3-4, your ability to set the edge of the defense and force people to either bounce it or run it back inside, and if they run it inside, it's critical that you build a wall. So I think those are some things he does well. He's a guy that's pretty instinctive as far as if he sees a play once, if it happens later in the game, he kind of knows what's happening. He can make some plays that way. He makes the players around him play better, and I think the best example of that is when you kind of look at, we go on the road at Missouri in the fourth quarter, he kind of takes over and plays well there. You look at the Florida game, down there, he has a dominant game. And he's played well in big games for us, and he's kind of made the players around him play better and play with energy, and he brings that to our defense. So I think it's a combination of all those things. And I think because he does a lot of things really good, it makes him, a pretty unique player.
Question for Aaron in the back. Aaron, you're pretty deep in Gator country here. At the game, do you expect the locals that come to follow the SEC line, or do you kind of expect them to go to the other side with the rivalry with Florida?
I definitely feel like as a whole, the SEC is pretty supportive. I know we look at ourselves as probably, obviously I think we are the most dominant, conference in the country. So I definitely think, I know I'm supporting all the other SEC schools. And I know, when we talk as a team, we don't only want to win this game, but also to prove, that the SEC is the best conference in the country. And like I said, I'm rooting for the rest of them, and I'm sure all the other SEC schools are rooting for us too.
Aaron, I'm curious, you mentioned that you really want to win a bowl game bad. You're 0-2 in bowl games. If you could put your finger on anything, is there any common thread that you could point to as to why you guys weren't able to pull off the last two games, and anything that you're trying to do, put a special emphasis on to ensure that you don't lose this one?
I think just make the plays. I mean, there's tons of plays in last year's game and even the year before in which times that we could have had some big plays down the field and put some points on the board, and we just didn't do that as an offense. So just thinking this year, just be more consistent. Like I said earlier, we have some great leadership all over the board on this team, a lot of great leadership on the offense. So I just look forward to those guys to make sure our guys are staying focused this whole week. And like I said, we've done a great job with that of making sure that, when it's time to have fun, we have fun. But when it's time to work and watch film and get ready for the game, we're doing that. And it's been a great week of practice. Today's pretty much the last day of having fun. And then after that, it really is just all honed down and make sure you're ready to go. So I think just mentally preparing yourself for this game and putting away all the distractions. And like I said, when those big plays or any kind of play throughout the game presents itself, we just got to be able to make them.
Yeah, this is Todd and Garrison. Todd, how much difference does it change the defensive scheme facing a quarterback like A.J. McCarron with a play action, and then like Taylor Martinez to rush for about 1,000 yards this year? And Garrison, to you, how much more pressure does it put on a defensive end playing a dual quarterback like that?
All right. Well, first of all, anytime you're a strong running team like Nebraska is, they're going to have play action passes off of their runs also. And even though they average 250 a game rushing, they average 200 yards throwing, so they can throw the ball down the field. As far as a quarterback, like we're getting ready to face, I think that anytime you have a guy that's a dual threat, it obviously opens up an extra gap that you have to defend. So at times, guys have got to be able to get off blocks and compress things. In the run game, in the throwing game, whenever you rush 4 guys, there's actually 6 rush lanes that you got to fill with 4 guys. So it's critical that you collapse the pocket outside in and compress it, not only to keep him bottled, but maybe affect his vision too, throwing down the field. Because disrupting the quarterback is as critical as sacking him. And those are some things that I think that you have to do against a guy that can run it and throw it, kind of like we're getting ready to face.
We have time for a couple more for Georgia.
Garrison. Yeah, like my coach said, it's just everybody just got to be disciplined. You just can't go out there and just try to make plays for your own individual glory. You just got to play as a team player. Just do your job and just hopefully you can just try to contain just that a great quarterback.
Mike, do you mind touching a little bit on Justin Scott Wesley and what his potential is for this coming up season, and also too, you've been talking about getting ready for Nebraska. Has it been more complicated getting ready for them or dealing with your kids at the theme park?
My kids, no, I got a great wife and great parents that are here that just do an awesome job. You don't get to spend a lot of time with them. It's fun for, like Coach Grantham mentioned, for your families. They're down here, but we're practicing and then come back and meet. And then you try to get out a little bit and catch them at a park here or there. But, they're having a blast and they're worn out every night. And so is my wife and my parents. But it's a lot of fun for them and they're having a big time. Justin Scott Wesley is a guy that, I've talked about several times with you guys who we believe has got a lot of talent, just raw when he got here. He's very much in the same mold of Christian Conley. They're both workers. They don't get frustrated about where they're at. They just continue to work and try to master the little things of being a receiver that Coach Ball has them work on daily. And you see an improvement in him. It didn't come as fast as he wanted, or we wanted it last year. And I think the red shirt was good for him. This year I've seen steady improvement. Has he played as much as he'd like? No, but I've seen a guy that hadn't got down, and now he's our 4th or 5th receiver, and he'll play some on Tuesday in the ball game. And he's got to take the experience he got this year, and he's got to build on it and continue to get better and become more fluid in running routes. And he's a track guy, just transforming from that track athlete to becoming a receiver. But he's got a great work ethic. He's improved tremendously in his route running in his hands already in a year and a half. And I expect with his work ethic, he'll continue to get better.